Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So there is some major Rocket Lab news and some major news related to Rocket Lab that we have got to talk about, and Rocket Lab has fallen 5% in the last 2 days, and a lot of you were asking me, okay, maybe that's bad to say, a few of you were asking me what the heck is going on with Rocket Lab stocks. So I decided to make a video and mix all these things up in one video. It's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome. Please just make sure you're subscribed. And before we begin, I want to shout out to the fantastic people who support this channel via being channel members. We have, I think, 15 or 16 members at this point. Thank you so much. You guys mean the world to me. Cool. So Rocket Lab has had an incredible run. The stock went from just in the beginning of May or end of April, $3.50 to all the way up to $5.78. That's a very, very big run. It's a bit late to calculate it out, but I guess I'm just gonna do it for you. So just use the calculator. It's a 65% run in 3 months, and you can see that every time we run about this much, there is a resting period, a pullback, which is very, very natural in a bull market. And then, you know, here it's not that organized, and then a pullback. And now we had a straight, unbelievable run from 460 every day for 2 weeks, a green candle, and we were just due to a pullback. We are in a bull market. This is natural. And if your position is not full, this is the time to load up, because there is very, very good things happening in Rocket Lab world. So there's a few that I feel that we need to go over. One of them is that yesterday they had a government delegation visiting their solar factory in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where they signed the preliminary agreement. That was a CHIPS Act funding, where Rocket Lab essentially gets $23.9 million in aid from the government to modernize their factory and expand their manufacturing capacity. And I did a video when this was first announced, and at that time I believe it was some memorandum of understanding. So now they are signing on it, so it's a much more concrete that is happening. When it was just in the memorandum of understanding phase, it was like the amounts could change, and this is still, as far as I understand, a pre-agreement, but it's like bringing it one step closer. Then, just before I started making this video, Rocket Lab tweeted a picture where they say fresh Haste rockets coming down the production line alongside Electron, ready to take to the skies from LC-2 at NASA Wallops to enable suborbital missions. We didn't get any dates of when these rockets would be going up, and at first I was like, oh my god, it's 5 Haste rockets, but you can clearly see it's only 2 Haste rockets. However, I don't believe that they would be manufacturing these rockets if there was not a customer on the other end asking for these rockets. So it does seem like in the near future we're going to have 2 Haste launches. I hope they are in Q3. That would be amazing, but that was not announced. And if you guys, because there are some guys who follow this channel who live very close to Virginia and Wallops, if you guys can keep us informed, and some of you are in Rocket Lab circles, so if you guys hear anything, put the rumors in the comments. Then the next very, very big catalyst is coming. So today is when the HBO's Wild Wild Space is being released. I thought it was going to be released in the morning. I woke up very early in the morning and I found out that it's at 9 p.m. California time that it's going to be released. So for me, it's the day after 3 a.m. in the morning. Now, there is a lot of international people who are watching this, a lot of people from New Zealand. And the way that you can access this, I already saw Scotto was asking this on Twitter. And so we in Sweden have Max, which is basically the new name of HBO. But we don't have Wild Wild Space. As far as I understand, in New Zealand, this was going to be first released on like the 19th of December or something, and then a lot of people complained, and then they are releasing it in 3 to 4 days from now. But what all of you can do is you can sign up for a VPN. I signed up for NordVPN. I used them before. It was like $13 for 1 month. And then with the VPN setting, somehow HBO thinks that I'm in the US, and then I'm watching it from the US, and then I have access to it, even though the movie is not released in Sweden. So Scotto, this is what you have to do. All the people watching from New Zealand and other countries, this is what you can do to watch the movie. If you don't want to pay for the VPN, which is an extra, as I said, probably $15, $14, then you just have to wait until it gets released in your country. In Sweden, it doesn't even have, like, you open the app and it just doesn't come up. It doesn't even exist in the content library. So I'm definitely ready. I'm probably going to wake up in the morning and watch the documentary before work. And believe it or not, I think that this is one of the biggest catalysts for the stock to come in a very, very long time. And I had this suspicion that Ashley Vance wrote this book when the heavens went on sale. And a lot of you have read it, and it made you guys uber bulls on Rocket Lab because of who Peter Beck is. And, you know, when you hear his story, you can't help but, you know, become extremely bullish on the stock, right? And I've been recommending it to everyone. If you're investing in Rocket Lab, buy Ashley Vance's book, read it, and, you know, that's a big part of your due diligence. And a lot of people, I understand, don't have the time or the willingness to read an actual book. I'm talking to you, Matt Farley, and it's understandable. But this movie is basically based on what the book was written on, and it's 1.5 hours. It's per the early reviews, it's very, very entertaining. So it's a very, very easy watch for a lot of investors. So I was suspecting that it's going to increase the bubble of people who is willing to do research on space. Now it's, you know, a very low barrier to entry. You just watch this, you get quite a good idea of what Rocket Lab is. So I think we're going to get a lot of new investors. And I actually saw this in action because Ellie in Space, I don't know if you guys know that channel. She has about 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. She mainly covers SpaceX. And she did an interview with Ashley Vance, and she said it herself that she's so much in the SpaceX bubble that she didn't even know basically that Rocket Lab really existed. And after watching the movie, she was super impressed by Rocket Lab and Peter Beck, and she's like trying to arrange to get an interview with Peter Beck, and she wants to fly to New Zealand. And she is a space YouTube creator with 100,000 subs. And she was in a bubble where she didn't hear about Rocket Lab. Like, that's how freaking early we are. And I think that this movie is going to be a very, very big catalyst for a very, 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 very long time to come. And I'm very excited about it. Now, the last news is I actually didn't make a video since the Rocket Lab Weekly. And my God, 1 hour after Rocket Lab Weekly finished, this thing happened, the assassination attempt on Trump happened, and I obviously condone this in the strongest of terms. However, as an investor, we have to talk about this because I feel that Trump is, basically you can count with that he's the next president of the United States. And you know, my two investments are Palantir and Rocket Lab, and we have to know what does it mean for these two companies that Trump is going to be the next president. I do believe that the rally this week that we have gotten, also CNBC has talked about it, that the last actually month, the stock market was matching. They showed the chart on TV. I wish I would have it prepared for this video. That the stock market chart was correlating with the chances of Trump becoming president. And as it was going higher, the stock market was going higher. And I do believe this. Trump is very good for small business. He will deregulate. You know, the Fed is going to cut interest rates. So maybe it's not amazing news for, you know, the Googles, Microsofts, and these people of the world, but Rocket Lab is a small cap company. Palantir is a mid cap company. They're going to do amazing with a Trump presidency. Palantir is a whole different animal because J.D. Vance has a connection to Peter Thiel, and most probably they're going to get a lot of contracts. So the government business in Palantir is going to do well. Now, Rocket Lab is a little bit different because there is this bromance going on between Elon and Trump, and a lot of people have suggested that you know, SpaceX will get a lot more contracts, and you know, the other competitors basically get pushed out. I really don't think that this is the case because Trump was the one who originated the Space Force. It's his baby, and I think that he's going to spend a lot on Space Force. So that's number one, that is good for Rocket Lab. Number two is that there is an effort from the government to have diversity in launch capabilities and have a lot of backup plans. So definitely they're not going to make SpaceX into a monopoly, and there's going to be a ton of contracts to get from the government under a Trump administration. And generally life is just going to be easier under a Trump administration for Rocket Lab. Again, lower interest rates, less business regulation, you know, more business optimism. These are all going to help. So I thought that this was important news to take up because I'm pretty sure that after this very iconic picture was taken and how Trump reacted after the assassination, and, you know, judging by people's reaction on Twitter, he's got this election in the bag, and you as an investor need to reevaluate how this changes your portfolio. I think that for Rocket Lab and Palantir, this is very good news, and also for my life in general, I think it's very good news because I've been very much affected by the Ukraine war, inflation, and many other things. So I'm looking forward to that war ending, and, you know, ending the meaningless loss of innocent lives on both fronts. Cool. So thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments. And if you felt like you got value out of this video, please make sure you become a channel member. And I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.